What was the moment in your life that caused you to wake up?
That moment was where I was depressed and feeling very lonely and feeling very disconnected from everything. And actually, in that moment, I kind of turned to the thing that always helped me ever since I was a teenager. And I turned to a spiritual book, and I picked up a book by Neil Donald Walsh called Happier Than God. And I was reading that book, and I think I devoured it like a day. Just reading that book made me realize, oh my God, I have been feeling so disconnected from my connection to the universe, to God, if you want to call it. I've never really been religious, but I've always had a spiritual connection, and also to my own intuition, to my own soul. And that kind of put a little seed in me that my way out of depression will be through finding and reconnecting back to who I truly am.
Get ready to reclaim your life, discover inspiring stories, practical tools, and the path to true happiness. This is Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Let's begin the journey. Before we start the next conversation, I want to invite you to check out my amazing book, The Gift Inside, a powerful guide for healing your body, mind, and soul. Reclaim your strengths and awaken your true potential. Whether you are navigating heartbreak or simply seeking deeper fulfillment, this book offers the tools to turn your struggles into triumphs. It is time to unlock the gift within you. Available now on Amazon, or you can check it out on my website www.irinashehovtsov.com. Hello and welcome to Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Today we have a special guest, Agne Veckyte. She is a business intuitive, merging her passion for business and her soul's passion for intuitive healing. She is helping women in business to connect to the secret superpower, their soul. She's joining us from Lithuania. Welcome, Agne. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So please share with us in your own words who you are.
Well, in your introduction, you said a lot of who I am. I am a business intuitive. So being an intuitive is what comes deeply from my soul. And it is a part of me that I have grown into over the last probably 10 years since I've started my business. That has changed many times over the 10 years. But right now, I feel like I'm probably at my most self, my most true self. I feel like I'm fully embodying my gifts. I'm fully living my passion, and I'm helping other women, coaches, healers, service providers to find their own passion, their own voice that is aligned with their soul, so that they can go in the world and do their business and call in their beautiful, amazing clients who need them, who have been waiting for that soul contract to be fulfilled. Yeah.
Very well said. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Sunshine. That's the yellow wall. Yes, I do live in a country that has all four seasons and a pretty deep winter and kind of cold and gray. But I am a kind of a sunshine person at heart, a beach person at heart. Yes. And yeah, dancing makes me happy. A lot of things make me happy.
Awesome. What makes your heart sing?
Oh, my heart sing. I think probably the first thing that came to mind was that when I'm working with a client and they have that moment of connection, that aha moment, whether we are healing a trauma or working through some subconscious limiting beliefs, or we're kind of exploring what does their soul want them to do in this life. And when they find that like, oh my God, that's it. Like this has been the answer all along and I didn't see it. Then my heart is singing all sorts of wonderful songs in that moment, because I had gone a long way to get to that point myself. So I love getting my clients there so much faster so they don't have to wait 10 years to get to that place.
You're right. I can relate. I feel the same way when I see that light bulb moment that comes on, and yeah, they don't have to wait so many years, and how
Yes.
simple it could be.
Exactly.
What was the moment in your life that has caused you to wake up and kind of embarked on this path?
So I think for me, that moment was my moment where I was depressed and feeling very lonely and feeling very disconnected from everything. And actually, in that moment, I kind of turned to the thing that always helped me ever since I was a teenager. And I turned to a spiritual book, and I picked up a book by Neil Donald Walsh called Happier Than God. And I was reading that book, and I think I devoured it in like a day. But just reading that book made me realize, oh my God, I have been feeling so disconnected from my connection to the universe, to God, if you want to call it. I've never really been religious, but I've always had a spiritual connection, and also to my own intuition, to my own soul. And that kind of put a little seed in me that my way out of depression will be through finding and reconnecting back to who I truly am, and also finding my path in life. Because the reason why I ended up depressed was because I was working in corporate and I felt very meaningless. I felt like my life was becoming very meaningless, and I didn't see a way through it in corporate. So I knew eventually I'm gonna have to find my own way somewhere. And I kind of slowly started going in that direction, searching, reading, and then finally I braved an actual workshop to go to, that I thought, well, I need something practical to help me through books. Books are not enough. They're not getting me through the difficulties that are still arising. And in that workshop was very significant to me, because probably in the first few hours, I was just sitting, looking at the teacher and not really hearing anything she had to say, because my soul inside of me and everything inside of me was screaming, this is what you're supposed to do. This is your job. This is this, I want this. And this was the first time ever in my life, because I've never seen anyone whose job I would be like, oh, I want this job. It was like, oh, great, this job would be great. Like, that's interesting. And that's interesting. That's how I ended up studying business, because I didn't know what I wanted to be. So just watching that. And then I was like, okay, how can I do this? So I kind of attached myself to the modality that she was introducing me to, and that was called soul collage. And I know you asked me to bring a card, and I didn't. I can probably get it at the end of the interview. So, okay. So soul collage, it's a lovely creative technique that allows us to create little cards for different parts of ourselves. So it allows us to kind of get to know ourselves better. And through this technique, and I just dived right in, weekends, evenings, all the time, I just spent doing that. I think my friends thought I disappeared off the face of the earth at the time, just because I was so just focused on it. So this was 2012, and then 2013, April, I happily manifested to be let go from my job with a severance package. And this is still a very good manifestation on my list. And I was able to go and do the training to become the facilitator. And that's how my journey into being an entrepreneur and into being an intuitive started, because with that, I also discovered meditation. And I discovered that apparently I am gifted in meditation. I'm gifted in leading it. I'm gifted in doing it myself. And it's not something I needed to learn very hard. And there were many moments through this journey of finding my gifts, especially my intuitive gifts, because normally these things, you don't find them in school. You don't find them doing normal human things. Nobody teaches that, really. That's just something that, happens on a different type of journey. So yeah, so as I was kind of continuing and learning to build my business, because also in university, when you study business, nobody teaches you how to create your own. They teach you how to be a manager, they teach you how to be a specialist of some area, but not really how to be an entrepreneur. So that was a journey in itself. And kind of, if depression gave me a gift of stripping me completely of all the conditionings, all the things that I thought I was, all the things I thought I was supposed to be, because when I was lying in bed and not being able to get out, like all the good girl conditioning went away. And I felt horrible. I felt like a failure. I felt like I've disappointed everyone, my family, my friends, myself, all my potential that other people have told me that have this potential in this and that. It was all gone because I couldn't do anything. I was lying in bed, kind of being afraid to leave the house. Like that's where so I think it gave me a gift of just stripping off things that I thought I was, and allowing me to really going on a journey and discover, who am I? Who am I on a soul level? Who am I? What are my beliefs? What are conditionings? What are things that other people put on me, society? What have I inherited? So through this journey, I was able to kind of go deeper and deeper and deeper into my truer self. And especially when I sort of fully embraced my intuitive abilities, and that was about 7 years ago. Also, when I became a theta healing practitioner, which has been a wonderful modality that I've used all these 7 years and still do today. And now it's kind of like I've come to the point where not only I embrace my intuitive abilities, I'm also embracing the fact that the spirit, the universe, wants me to bring in a new modality into this world. So it's been a journey over the last year. A lot of, again, kind of deepening another lesson that I've learned through this journey. And it's the lesson that I am worthy. I'm worthy of good things. I'm worthy of being happy. I'm worthy of my gifts. I'm worthy of wonderful relationships. I'm worthy of being the guide for other people's transformations and healings and discoveries. There are a lot of worthiness lessons. This is another worthiness lesson that I'm still learning today. It's being worthy to bring in a new tool into human life, into humanity, to help people really reconnect back with their soul on a daily basis, and in daily and not so daily things. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, but I wouldn't change it. I would change the pain, but I wouldn't change the lessons.
That's incredible. Which book by Neil Donald Walsh did you mention? What's the name of it?
The name is Happier Than God.
Happier Than God. Awesome. I didn't read this one, but I read Conversation with God, and I read it like you said, on one breath. I couldn't put it down.
Yes.
Even though it's huge, like two volumes.
Yeah.
It was an audio book, but I couldn't stop. It was so fascinating and kind of pulling in and all the ideas and stuff. And I love kind of what you're doing, and that idea of soul collage, I think, is incredible. I call it, learned another one. This is not related to soul, but it's kind of your human life. I don't know if you heard of Mind Valley and Life Book, and they also
I've heard of it.
The 12 categories of life, and you kind of it's not about you create a book basically of your life and your life story, and you paint pictures and you kind of imagine, because we always go through life, we never actually think and sit down, what do we want to create? We constantly kind of reacting. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want this.
Yes.
What do you want? It was actually difficult going through the process. Kind of, you're gonna pull things out. Like I gotta think about it first before I do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
Yeah. You have such a good point that we react so much to life that we forget that we can create and we are co-creators of life. Because it's a bit tricky when you consider yourself, I am fully the creator of my life. Yes, you are, but you're co-creating with the universe and people around you and everyone else. We're never just by ourselves. We're never really alone.
you're right. I think it goes to say, because we don't want to take the responsibility, because if we are the creators, we got to take responsibility for successes and failures.
Yes.
And sometimes we want to blame others for the failures.
Yes.
So if you had to summarize, what were the 3 biggest lessons you learned as a result of your wake-up call?
Okay, so one is the truth, really, really connecting with who you truly are. And this is actually very interesting that I found for myself, and I also found working with clients, is that as we sort of strip away all of these kind of just noise around our personalities and we get to the core of who we are, I have never really met anyone that would be just darkness. Well, maybe I'm lucky and I thankfully haven't met people like that. I'm sure they exist. But from my clients, it's usually light. There's a lot of light. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of joy and gifts and things that want to come out. But it's so hard to accept that. Because I think most of us have been conditioned to look for flaws, to go through criticism, to kind of like just be down on ourselves all the time. And accepting that light and that like, oh my God, there are so many good things in me and in my clients as well. And sometimes they get scared. Like I literally sometimes see people get scared of, no, I'm not ready for this. This can't be me. So that happens. The truth, that really accepting the truth, because the hard things, the difficult things, the dark things inside, the shadow things, they're just parts of us that we have discarded at some point and decided this is not okay. But if we integrate, if we let them speak to us, they become not shadowed anymore. They're fine. They have gifts to share with us. So truth is one thing. Another thing, as I mentioned, is worthiness. And it's definitely a long lesson to be discovered. And it's kind of like, it reminds me, I was in this, it was a weekend course, but it's called The Body Sings. And it's a beautiful experience where you learn to use voice and sound of your voice to bring in love into your body and to release pain and suffering and a lot of difficult things stored in the body out. And I remember the teachers were leading us through one of the singing sessions, and it's usually just a soft sound. There is no screaming and yelling. It's kind of very, very gentle. We're leading, and they were also playing live instruments, which was wonderful. And they said, the music is here for everyone, and the music is here for you as well. And I just burst crying, because that was the first time I actually felt the music physically kind of enter my body. And I felt loved. I felt really, really loved by the music as one form of love. And so there have been moments like that. It's kind of like big shifts or small steps of understanding that, yes, I am worthy. I'm worthy to be here. I'm worthy to exist. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to share love. And I'm sure I will have more and more, because I don't think this lesson is ever finished. So yeah, and I would say the third lesson is trust, and especially in business. It's trusting that when you take a really uncomfortable step, really scary step forward, that the universe is going to be here waiting for you, receiving you in the process, helping you, providing opportunities, providing help, providing support and answers and the right people and everything else. And yeah, every time I up level or shift my business or do something, I have to remember this lesson and learn it again and deepen it And now at least I know logically that it's there. My brain knows. I know I can do this, even if my body goes through like, I'm afraid. But yes, but it's kind of, I would say these are probably the biggest lessons. There are many more, but these were the ones that came to me when I was thinking of my journey through from depression to being happy and fully fulfilled.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And I think trust is so important, trusting ourselves, because we always rather seek answers somewhere outside. We would trust our health to the doctor. We would trust our mental health to the psychologist. We would trust our nutrition to the nutritionist. And we forget to ask our body, ourselves, like, how is it feeling? Is this a good thing for us or not? We neglect that part. So coming home to yourself and trusting, I think it's beautiful. And I love that you shared your experiences and that fact that you allowed music to enter your body and actually felt loved. And it's music is not just for everybody, just also for you. And we sometimes dismiss that fact that we are worthy, and it's so important and valuable lesson. What is your mission?
Okay, my mission is to, if I have no restrictions and everything is possible, my mission is to get every single person on this earth to reconnect with their soul and reconnect with who their soul is and what their soul wants to bring into this world. What are their gifts of their souls, and to start actually living and making a living and creating businesses and doing things from their soul gifts. And that would make our life and our world so much nicer to live in. So I will do my best in this lifetime as much as I can to stay with this mission, because that's what I realized once I quit corporate and started truly embodying who I am. And I was like, oh my God, could everyone? And yes, everyone could. I'm not that special. I was just stubborn enough to do it on my own and to search for the answers. But yeah, I mean, right now there's so many amazing healers and people and so many different paths of finding your own voice and your own connection to your soul, your own mission and gifts in the world. So I'm glad I live at this time, even if it's a very challenging time sometimes.
I love it. It's beautiful, helping people finding the gift that they have and living that gift. I think it's incredible. And we wouldn't have so many people who are living, they do the 9 to 5 and then they go down and they drink, or they, do something creative, or waiting for the Friday to come and dreading the Monday. What if life would be that you don't have to escape? What if it was something you love doing and you don't get tired of it because you love it so much?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how many amazing things and solutions we could find as humanity if we lived like that, if we truly lived from a place of our souls and our hearts and embodying the gift that comes easiest and lightest and really ignites you as a person. So yeah, the world would be great.
Awesome. Did you have a hero growing up, or somebody you looked up?
I didn't have one, like a specific person, but I was kind of a bookworm. I loved reading books and I loved reading adventure books. So I think my heroes growing up were the heroes in the adventure books and the books about Native Americans, and I think there was a book called The Natu, and kind of like they were all men. Funny enough, because there weren't any books about women being heroes back then. So they were all men, and they were courageous, and they were often very fair and very kind of kind-hearted and had great ideals. And it's funny because of reading all those books, and until I was about 12, I really wanted to be a boy. Not because I actually felt like a boy, but because I read books about men doing great adventure things. So I wanted to be a boy so I could do the same thing. Then it changed. Puberty hit me, and I was like, oh, no. I don't want to be a boy.
Beautiful. Do you have a one kind of, what did you want to emulate from them? I understand you wanted the adventure, but if you had to pick a trait, what was your favorite?
I would say courage and integrity. That courage to be yourself no matter what, sometimes with very difficult consequences. That I would say that kind of got me. Even in my very little child's heart, it resonated somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. Courage is, and yeah, it's it. You can accomplish great things once you have courage, and it allows you to do things you thought you couldn't do, but after you do them, you're like, I'm able, I am worthy, I can do this.
I don't know how I got here, but apparently I can do this.
What was the smallest thing you've done that had the biggest impact in your life so far?
Smallest thing I've done. I don't know if I can pick one, but I think it's kind of like little steps that I've taken every day through my journey. Especially before my intuitive gifts fully woke up and I was able to really connect with that.
Do you remember your first little tiny step?
The first little tiny step, I think the first little tiny step was actually going to that first workshop. You know, that really was my first step into everything that happened afterwards, into creating my business, into becoming proud of myself to be intuitive and believing that I can be, because I wasn't born with a particular intuitive gift that manifested as a child. And I'm grateful that I wasn't, because I probably would have been kind of thought as crazy, especially with the system, like the system that, I was born into, which was still Soviet Union at the time. Yeah, those kind of gifts weren't tolerated or welcome in that kind of society. So I'm happy, whoever helped me plan this life to make sure that my gifts do not come through as a child.
Awesome. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't tolerated. I'm also from former Soviet Union, and you have to kind of be atheist and follow the orders and just fit in the box.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is your superpower if you had to pick one?
Okay, my superpower. My superpower is the ability to hear and understand the language of the soul and the subconscious mind, and to translate it into how the subconscious actually worked through a person's life. So kind of recognizing patterns and helping the person, my clients, discover of like, oh, this happened and then this event happened, and somewhere in between these two, it was this pattern that your subconscious mind was playing in. And it's not logical. It's a special logic of the subconscious, and the special logic of the soul has nothing to do with human logic. It's actually the opposite usually. Most of the time, like, what? Why? How does this work? Yeah, but I would say this is my superpower, and I love it. I love finding those, like, ooh, okay, that's what your subconscious created. Very smart, very creative, usually not great, but still very cool.
You're right. That's a great superpower, and does not match to human logic, because it's totally different. And amazing that you do that. What have been your greatest discovery with that? Do you have an example you like to share?
Oh, greatest discovery. There are so many that now my brain's completely blank, but I'll come up with one.
Something that intrigued you the most.
Okay, so we're going quite into the full end with this, but this was from my own experience, and I was working on, I don't remember what I was working on, but I found this belief. It still makes me laugh. I found this belief that apparently I believe that God or the creator lost me, like carried me around in his pocket, and somehow I fell off and I got lost. I cannot find God and God cannot find me. And that was just like, it was cute and sad at the same time, and quite funny, and it explained, because it explained a few things in my life, well, especially how I would feel sometimes in large groups of people where I would feel lost. I mean, I'm quite an extroverted person. I enjoy meeting people and talking to people, but there would be those moments where I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm like sort of hanging in the middle of the universe, not attached to anything, not grounded at all. And then just transforming this belief just made it easier to actually be in the physical body, to be grounded in kind of the physical space. But yeah, this was one of many strange things that I've discovered.
It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And the fact that you're able to find it and kind of pinpoint it and fix it, figure it out, make it whole.
Yeah, reconnect back to the creator and just find it. I cannot be lost. No, none of us can be lost, because the creator doesn't lose us.
What is next for you? Any fun projects you're working on that you like to share?
Fun projects. So right now I'm kind of working on building my website and creating some lovely things for people to have and to enjoy and to use in terms of connecting with their soul, their business identity through their soul, their souls, their business soul, how it looks and how it communicates what it wants. And eventually I am going to be creating a course for coaches and healers and service providers to learn how to really use the power of their soul in business, and to make sure that the voice they're speaking with in business is aligned with their soul's voice. So yeah, so that would be it for now. I'm always working with clients, so that, that brings me great joy too.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Congratulations on, the website and the course. That's incredible. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
You've asked so many really good questions. Oh. Maybe just this, that, a lot of people, when we talk about like connecting to your soul and hearing your soul's voice, and it's like it feels like it should be some kind of like big thing, like big, loud, sort of powerful. Our souls are very powerful, but they don't speak that way. It's usually the silent, the almost invisible, that silent voice that slightly nudges you in a specific direction. And actually, yes, there are wonderful techniques how to connect with your soul, but you don't need them. Like, if you want to start today, you can start today. Just listen for that little voice, little voice. And it's usually very loving and very kind. It will never criticize you. It will never call you names. It will never tell you you're failed. It will never succeed. That's not the voice of the soul. The soul will say, it's okay. It's okay that this happened. It's okay that, you'll figure it out. You can do it. So just go and look for that voice. Really look for that, especially in difficult situations, because it's there and it's, it wants to be heard. So, yeah.
You're right. It's our ego usually who screams the most, and it's like having a loving parent, having that nice voice that is always in the background. But we gotta slow down. We gotta be present to hear it and notice it. Otherwise, the ego is gonna overtake.
Yeah, and I think we also need to trust that it's there and that we're worthy of the kindness that is inside of us. We're also worthy of kindness from outside and from our families and friends and just people. But first of all, we are worthy of the kindness from inside. And that's not easy.
No, because always, like you said, we're preconditioned to find what is broken, what is not good, and we gotta refocus to focus on the positives.
Yeah, exactly.
And start appreciating yourself more and others. When you look for positive things, you're gonna find more positive things.
Yes, absolutely.
If people would like to connect with you, learn more about you, where would they go?
Well, they can find me on Instagram. It's agne.veckyte, exactly my name dot surname. And on Facebook, they can find me as Agne Veckyte Business Intuitive. So I would love to connect and chat.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really loved it, and the lessons that you learned, and the soul collage, I think, is incredible. I'm gonna check it out. It sounds very, very interesting. Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you, Irina, for having me here. And it was an absolute pleasure talking to you and sharing my story. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story and my mission as well.
Yeah, thank you.